An interesting sentiment you tend to hear as you get older are people talking about how things were so much simpler and how happy they were when they were younger. And the irony of that is that when we were young, we just wanted to grow up. And now that you're older, you gotta plan and figure everything out, right? And it's kind of funny, we spend a lot of time trying to figure life out, so to speak. Whether we're aware of it or not, when you start getting in your late teens and your 20s and especially 30s, you start to feel this urgency to figure life out. And you start to see a lot of people being a lot more anxious and depressed about it. And obviously it's good to have a plan, it's important to have goals and a general idea of what you want to do, how you want life to look for you, and have that at least be somewhat reflective of your morals, beliefs, and values. And this urgency is probably exponentially increased if you're constantly on social media or comparing your life to other people. Competition with yourself is good, but comparisons are bad. But the reality is that you'll never figure it out, right? And it sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't understand this. It's actually funny because we all try to make it seem like we got it all figured out to some degree. When you have conversations about how things are going, we tend to glorify our situations a lot because seeming like you don't have life figured out, for a lot of people they associate that with feelings of guilt, shame, and failure. It's kind of weird how far most people will go to appease their optics. But guess what? Your friends, your peers, your coworkers, your siblings, the people you think got it together, none of them have it figured out as well. I mean, hell, even your parents don't have it figured out. And that's just because we'll always have problems, right? And that's just the nature of life. It takes you in many directions, and trying to map things out perfectly is undoubtedly going to leave you lost and confused. I mean, I'm sure none of us expected a quote-unquote pandemic to turn the world upside down, and 2 years later, here we are, case in point. Like, no one 2 years ago knew what their life was going to look like 2 years later. Not a single person. Well, I mean, maybe a few. But again, that's just life, right? It's unpredictable, it's ever-changing, people change, and things change. But we adapt, we elevate, we grow. Because that's just what it means to be human, right? More importantly, that's what it means to live. I say it all the time, but if life were perfect, if the world was perfect, none of us would be here. Life would be absolutely pointless. And actually, human nature itself is also why we'll never figure it out. It's because whatever our circumstances are, wherever you are in life, it eventually becomes normalized. I use this analogy a lot because it's easy to understand, but it's like that new iPhone you wanted so badly, right? After you got it, you're happy for like a few days, and then it starts feeling exactly like the old one. And again, that's because everything eventually becomes normalized, including your life situation. And then human nature makes us constantly want more in every facet of life, not just material, and again, it's because we adapt, right? We adjust. Same thing goes for circumstances or problems. Like if you think about it, most people go to school, go to college, work, everyone tries to make money. And of course, once you start making money, have a stable foundation in your career, you start focusing on relationships and connections more. And then eventually you buy things along the way, right? You buy a car, you buy a house, find love, start a family, get married, have a few kids, continue to work, raise your kids, retire when your kids have their own footing in life, and spend the rest of your days doing whatever and call it a good life. Like I know obviously not everyone lives life this way. I know there's gonna be that one person watching thinking, I know plenty of people that don't want to get married or have kids. Yeah, whatever, I'm speaking generally, right? But again, the reality is that there's literally 0% chance things will ever go as planned, the way you thought or the way you wanted. As a matter of fact, I would actually guarantee that life won't go how you think or planned out. That's impossible. And again, it's the same reason why we'll always have problems in our lives. Most problems change with circumstances for sure, but no circumstance will ever get rid of your problems. And I also kind of wonder if a part of that is also because no matter what, we look for problems in our lives. Again, going back to human nature, we need stimuli in our lives, right? Most of the time that includes a challenge or some sort of obstacle to overcome. And when we get to a certain situation or circumstance that solves our previous problems, naturally we start having a new set of problems relative to that situation. And honestly, a lot of times we are genuinely subconsciously looking for problems. When I noticed this before with certain people around me, I kind of just cringed because it was definitely the case that they were just actively looking for problems or dramatizing certain situations to have something going on in their life. Just because they were bored. Some sort of issue or problem to resolve. And yeah, it was just cringe whenever I noticed people doing that. And it's also why a lot of people are addicted to negativity, and negativity is what's sold in the media and news. Cause think about it, right? Most people come home from their 9-to-5s and turn on the TV and news to see the negativity, to get away from their day-to-day routines. And you might think, well, that's not necessarily to see negativity. Yeah, it is. Having problems and negativity and drama is exciting and fun for more people than you'd expect. And a lot of people find comfort in that drama when everyone around them can partake in it. Like, oh, we're all in this together, because it makes them feel comfortable. And then they bathe and indulge in the negativity while masquerading it with some false moral high ground. And that's just because some people need negativity and problems and drama in their life because it's a change in stimuli. It makes you feel something. And it's because their day-to-day is so bland and meaningless to them. And yeah, this is a generalization, but generalizations are based on majority. And realistically, that's probably why this idea of happiness can never be a permanent state, because of the nature of human beings and life in general. We constantly need more, we constantly look for problems. We will never reach a state where things and life is constant, whether that's career, money, relationships, material items, whatever. When you try to figure everything out, you kind of put your mind in this box and you kind of don't allow life to happen. Because you become so fixated on what you planned and mapped out, trying to figure everything out. And I think we do this because it gives us a pseudo sense of control, safety, and sense of comfort. It's because we don't like not being in control. All of us to some degree are control freaks. In any situation or circumstance, the root of our fears is the unknown, and for many people there's probably nothing scarier than not knowing where you're going. And this is more so a problem for people who overthink everything, which is probably most of you guys listening to this right now. But all this does is leave you more stressed and anxious for no reason. And it's this weird balance between having goals and ideas and a plan while also allowing life to happen. And truth to be told, at the end of the day, we can try to figure everything out and map our lives out perfectly. But let's be honest, in 5 to 10 years from now, our brains are probably going to be connected to some machine. We'll be in some fourth dimension of metaverse getting high with lizard and aliens, while Mark Zuckerberg and Bill Gates are going to be laughing their asses off somewhere. What else is going to be happening? Oh yeah, Hillary Clinton is going to be opening the gates of hell, while Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are probably going to be on Jupiter somewhere sticking a flag with their faces on it with their trillions of dollars. Anyways, if you guys liked the video, leave a like, comment, or sub. And with that said, make sure you guys stay true. Take care guys, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Peace.